Hello, Internet, and thank you very much for tuning into the Cloud Native Wisdom short video series on CloudNative FM podcast. And this is might be some of our last edition of Wisdom episode for 2026. And I invited my wonderful friend, my live stream partner for 2025, my co-host partner for Code to Culture Platform Engineering and for Unpack for Enterprises, and my partner for understanding all of the curiosity in the tech ecosystem. So I invited once again my wonderful, lovely friend Richard Simon from Cloud Therapist YouTube channel, and you should have to subscribe because he generated a tons of wonderful episode in his channel. And today's topic, his favorite and my favorite as well, cloud migration in the age of AI. So we know we're going in a very far way. The AI giving us in a new galaxy, might be in the Andromeda galaxy, but bunch of our enterprises are here on planet Earth. So it doesn't even know what there's Andromeda galaxy exist. So my question to Richard Simon, what your takes on the entire ecosystem around cloud migration and where AI is helping us?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm seeing a lot more sort of automation around the whole sort of migration process coming in. Certainly at T-Systems, we're doing that for our customers. So I'm seeing more tooling coming in. I'm seeing more AI, sort of different approaches really to how AI can help us to migrate, and that's everything from working out what the customer may have to understanding how that can be migrated to also helping with the migration process. So AWS, for example, have announced a number of things recently at the reInvent conference that helps to modernize code, for example. So they're not necessarily looking at the virtual machines or the containers and kind of the vessels that will hold the applications, but actually looking at the application code itself. And I remember them doing a Java application modernization, well over 18 months ago, using the tools that they had at the time. So I'm seeing that kind of activity that was announced, I think, recently from AWS, and we'll provide some details in regards to that. Microsoft also announced recently in their Ignite event the Microsoft Azure Accelerate. I think this is a bringing together of a lot of previous prior services they've been providing. So things like around migration, subsidizing some of the pilots that customers want to do, bringing in the likes of their sort of channel partners to help with the migrations and to help their customers migrate as well. They've had some other offerings like Innovate and various other things all around this sort of app migration, cloud migration kind of activity. So I think Azure Accelerate is really designed to kind of put all those things under one roof. So that's kind of what Microsoft's doing. There's also some other other interesting solutions. I remember Google did an acquisition back in 2018, actually. So maybe they had been doing it for a long time now. A company called Velostrata. So Velostrata took your virtual machine, put it into Google Cloud Platform, and then they streamed your data across in the background. So if the application in the data center was connected to a backend database, they would stream the data off from that backend database into Google Cloud. So Velostrata was kind of something that Google was doing a long time ago, and we're seeing kind of similar stuff appearing as well. So a recent company that I saw a demo from is called Fluid Cloud. So Fluid Cloud again do real-time migrations into I think it's an any-to-any sort of solution. So again, that's using generative AI to understand the workloads and then help to migrate the workloads. And as I said, in T-Systems, we're also doing we're also doing that. We're applying Gen AI to understand and crunch through the customer's workloads, to work out the dependencies that the workloads may have, such as things like backend databases, and then be able to also output documentation as well as part of that. So things like high-level designs, proposals, and things like that, where we can also generate that. So I think you'll see a lot more of this coming through, Saim, as we go through sort of 2026. You'll see a lot more of these kind of solutions that are taking advantage of AI agents and Gen AI in general to help with this sort of automate this migration process. It's not going to be, I think, the kind of the pretty picture that we would like to see, the kind of one button press that takes you into the cloud. But that's, we're kind of at the beginning of that cycle. So it's going to take some time for that to happen. But I'm glad to see that there's lots of different options, out there. Now, if folks want to understand what does migration into cloud, sort of look like, they can look at my 4 stages of migration, which I covered extensively in a talk with Trey Spannon last year. And I think I've published some other stuff around it as well. But the 4 stages of migration is really important for customers and enterprises to understand, and even for professionals in this space, so architects and DevOps engineers and platform engineers and so on, because that will help them to kind of understand what are the implications of doing migration into cloud.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And I think if folks want to have some deeper understanding of cloud migration, Richard Simon have a dedicated segment, Cloud State of Play, that you have to check out as well, because they have some wonderful thoughts from the very wonderful industry experts out there as well. So I think what I'm looking at it is like another layer, like what's going to happen, because a lot of the AI data center coming into the play, and might be there are some people are still in the virtual machine and they wanted to move into the container ecosystem. They're not been there yet. And in the container ecosystem, there's now been an agentic ecosystem is been evolving up. The AI agentic foundation is coming out. Might be in the near future, there's a migration took part of moving from VM to a highly sophisticated and highly a new set of trends that we actually include in that part of it, because enterprises has a lot of kind of a struggle from moving from one step to the second step to the third step to the fourth step. And I think AI layer can definitely help accelerate this adoption. And number 2, they can actually add policies, governance, automation, and also not to forget, sometimes the migration happen because of the digital sovereignty. And that's a topic, it's very crucial, I think, in going into the next year as well. And make not forget, my friend Richard actually helped me collect the ninth person on this topic, and we'll be covering more episode in the near future as well. But I will stop here. If you have some questions around cloud migration in the age in the age of AI, link them on the chat in the YouTube comment section, because Richard and I take a look at it, and might be in the future we can host a dedicated panel episode or live stream or a new segment on those particular topic as well, because we are actually looking forward to what our viewers want to see on those channel, Cloud Native FM and Cloud Therapist. With that, thank you very much for listening to this conversation. I hope this find helpful for you and helping you establish a wonderful roadmap for the 2026.